What's up, everyone? This is the Fraser podcast, and today we're going over quarterback power rankings 2.0. We got a month under our belts, 4 weeks in, and some big movers and big fallers across the board. We got Uncle Blaise on tap to discuss. He's not happy with a few of the picks, and then we're doing week 5 picks like we always do. And also, if you're not in a Guillotine league, I'll explain why you absolutely need to be in one or should never touch one ever because it's absolutely anxiety filled. FanEverland.com, Fraser LeVay podcast. Give a little subscribe and a like. Appreciate it. And let's get into it.
These rankings. Have we started yet?
Yeah, we just did.
Oh, okay.
I can edit it, but it's fine.
You're gonna, we'll get
I knew you're not gonna like the rankings, but we got Blaise. Sace is a millionaire, so he takes a whole month off work and just travels around Europe. He's going to Germany, he's Italy, he's doing everything. So, and then Kev is in the backwoods, so we're without Kev, which is good because you get me and Blaise debating quarterbacks. Which, if you go into our text chain, that's pretty much all we do on a consistent basis, and it's good times. Also, before we get to quarterback rankings, some winners, losers, week 5 picks. I got my ass kicked last week on picks. What about you?
It wasn't my best week. It wasn't my best work, but it wasn't horrible. There's a few tough ones in there. I had a second chance at a survivor thing. There was some drama in its fantasy league I'm in. There was only 2 guys left, and then last week they both got it wrong. And so the commissioner said, well, it's called Survivor, and we're not splitting it. Nobody won. So everybody went back in the pot.
Oh, wow.
It caused quite a stir in the league, which was just pretty good fun. But I'm like, sweet, I'm back in. And I took the Jets, so I'm back out. So it's not a great performance for me in that Survivor league because I forgot to put a pick in the first week. And,
oh, no.
Yeah, so did really well in that one. But I was all right at my picks and against the spread, I think. I mean, I'd have to go check that, but
my picks against the spread are so bad. I think it's almost like a bender weekend where you don't check your bank account. So I haven't looked back at what my things are.
Let's not look.
I just need to recover.
Okay, I got to pull this up. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I felt good about them, and then it just didn't kind of work out that way.
Yeah, I feel like I was maybe around 500, but I don't think I hit many locks. And like before my locks, when I lost, it was like, okay, like no one knew that was going to happen. That makes sense. But now it's kind of in that realm of, before I didn't believe in Baker over whoever they're playing 2 weeks ago, and then they got shelled, and then Baker shells the Eagles. So it's like now I'm in this, oh God, what do you do?
Yeah, I can see that. I got 9, and it gets the spread, and yeah,
that's not bad.
A couple that I always take New England. I just have to, and I mean they really should have kept it within 10. It was like, it's so frustrating to watch, man. I don't understand how a professional organization can have a unit so bad as our offensive line. Like Kraft needs to go down to the coach's room and just be like, okay, I'm going to line up all the reasons. A, who picked these guys? B, and you can't just put on the coach because like it's not always the coach's fault if he has nothing to work with. Like some of these guys are just no goddamn good. Like he needs to lay it all out and say, okay, find me the 2 people most responsible for this, the condition that this line is in, and you're fired. You're gone. I don't care if it's the GM. He's got to be gone too. Somebody needs, like heads need to roll for how bad it is. Like they have you can't even put Drake May out there right now. It wouldn't even be safe for him. It wouldn't even be safe. Like it's unbelievable. They had pressure on like 60% of the dropbacks. It's wild. It makes absolutely no sense how it got this bad. And I know there's been injuries and that happens, but my goodness, you look at some of these other teams. Like everyone at the start of the year was saying, oh, Jane Dunn is going to be in trouble because his line's no good. But they've found a way to piece it together and at least make people delay a little bit getting to the quarterback. Like Patriots can't even do that. It's bad. It's hard. It's hard to watch because he just poor Jacoby. He's basically a pinata. Like he's just they're just saying, okay, go out there because we're not putting our franchise young quarterback out there because he's just going to get his ass kicked. So you go out there and get your ass kicked, and it's I don't know.
It's rough.
I feel for the guy because he's working his ass off, but he's not very good to begin with, and B, he has no time to do anything.
Yeah. Do you think Drake though could maybe now put something in their minds, like they know that Jacoby can't move, so they're just teeing off on him, or at least maybe May pulls a Jaden Daniels and he does a few runs, does a few more eccentric things, so now at least it keeps them a little bit honest. I know what you mean.
I think so. I think so. They're gonna have to eventually, right? At some point, like Jacoby's just not gonna be able to walk anymore, and so they're gonna have to put him out there. But man, I just don't. It's so bad that I don't even know that his mobility is gonna make a difference. Like it's just they don't respect the run and they don't respect the receivers. There's bodies everywhere at the line of scrimmage, and they're all going towards the quarterback, and it's tough. They don't give a shit about anything else. They're not worried about getting beat deep. They're not worried about anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I agree with you a little bit on that train of thought that maybe he would change things, but I don't know if it's enough, man. It's rough stuff. You don't want to see the kid get out there and you just get his confidence crushed. But it's gonna happen soon. Like he's gonna be playing by Halloween for sure. So.
Yeah. Don't you have an easy game this week? I mean, it could be time.
It's the Finns. Finns at home. So if they ever were going to do it, like now would be a pretty decent time. But bad. Mayo says it's still Jacoby. So I don't know. That's their plan, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah.
Even though the Finns are not good, like the whole line is that bad. Like I'm not convinced that they could block you. It's tough sometimes. It's tough.
Is there lots of injuries, or is it just basically their okay?
Yeah, it's a lot, and then now David Andrews got hurt. He's the center, who was the one guy we could count on, and the backup. I watched the backup play in preseason, and I thought they have to get somebody else who can snap the ball. They can't put this guy out there in a real game, and. He actually, when he came in, was better than some of the other guys that were playing. But like they've 4 games, they started 4 different left tackles, and this guy's not the answer. He was a turnstile. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, before we dive into quarterback tiers as well, and we'll recap some of the games, I want to tell people about Guillotine leagues because a bunch of my friends still aren't in Guillotine leagues. And this week was either the selling feature to be in them because they're the greatest thing ever, or never do them because it's fucking miserable.
Miserable.
Because I had to watch the entire Miami Dolphins Tennessee game.
Literally.
Like, truly, my life did depend on it. Like, anxiety. I hated it. It was the worst. I tried to turn it off. So to set the stage, I hate people talk about fantasy and their fantasy teams, but here's the story, and you're going to like it.
It's too good.
So we go into Monday night, and I am fucked. There's 6 other teams that have a chance to have less points than I do. So the whole thing, if you don't know, a Guillotine League, 18 teams, and the losing team, the team with the least points, is out of the league forever. So it's just survive and advance. And I've got brutal points. We can get into why, but I left Fields out, which I went back and forth with Blaise on Sunday. Do I start Fields or do I start Hurts? I wanted to start Fields. Everything in my bones wanted to start Fields, but then every website said Hurts is ranked 4th or 5th this week. Fields 13th or 14th. So last second, I put Hurts in. So now I'm in this position. I'm fucked, and I should lose. And the only person I have a decent chance, is you, who's got a kicker who only needs 8 points. But the kicker's only gotten 3 or 4 points the last 2 weeks, and it's the Dolphins kicker.
The Dolphins, and they're so horseshit.
Yeah. So we're looking okay. The other 5 teams all have like legit. They have Kenneth Walker, Jared Goff, players that should get points. So I'm in trouble. Sure enough, everyone on everyone else's team scores a touchdown in the first quarter, which may have been a good thing because I was like, all right, my week's over. I can stop watching this shithole game and not worry about it. But maybe a chance against you. And sure enough, the kicker bombs a 50-yarder, and I'm done. And you're up on me by 0.47 points or some bullshit. So you're still
that was after the second one. He didn't kick the second field goal to the third quarter, though. Like, because I had the same thing. The other game was so good, and I'm having to just, like, at least check on the phone or see if they're in the red zone, or does Miami have the ball? Like,
Yeah.
can they get an interception and get to the fucking 30 and kick a field goal, do something?
Yeah.
Like, because they can't move the ball. Like, I turned it once to, I wonder how much Miami's doing, and they fucked up a shotgun snap because
Yeah.
they're so tragic.
Yeah.
And finally, he kicked that field goal, and I went up, and I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
he's gonna miss. And so now, of course, in these. You're in so many leagues, like I don't pay attention to all the rules. So now I'm combing through the settings to try and figure out what the league score is. Like, is it possible for this son of a bitch to lose a point? And sure enough, missed extra point or missed field goal inside the 30 is -1. And I'm just like, this is what's going to happen. They're going to get a touchdown, and this dickhead's going to miss the extra point. And now I'm going to be down 0.6 or whatever the hell it is, and that's how I'm going to lose. It was so same thing. Like, the other game was so good, but I'm having to pay attention to this JV game going on the other channel.
Yeah, and so now Blaise is basically in the clear, and I'm done. And there's only one person who I have a shot against, and it's Nonis with A-Chain, and all A-Chain needed was 7 points in a PPR league, full point PPR league. So I'm cooked, and A-Chain is up at he's got 5 points at the start of the game, basically. So I'm finished. Mm-hmm. So let me go through. I wrote down notes before. So I'm forced to watch this entire bullshit game, and I'm like, all right. And I turned it off because I'm like, no, this is dumb. I can't do this anymore. H-Chain can get 2 points, and I'm just not happy. I'm miserable. And I'm making my lady watch the game, which is even she doesn't want to watch football anyways, let alone this fucking terrible game. And then nothing happens for a bit, so I turn it back on. I'm sucked back in. And all of a sudden, he's back. All I need is one pass. He's hurt. He limps off the field. He rushes for -4 yards and limps off the field. So I'm like, oh, maybe a chance. Maybe a chance. Someone tweets and here I am. I'm checking tweets from random ass people. I'm just Googling A-Chain to see tweets. And sure enough, some random dude, Peter Buckle, says, oh, A-Chain's out. I'm like, no way he's out. I send the tweet in the group chat. I think I could win this. No, he's not out. This guy was a liar. I don't know why he did this. I hate this guy, whoever it was. I'll find out who it was. He's back in the game. The Finns get the ball back, and they're marching, but the other running back's in the backup. He goes. He takes them all the way. They're about to score a touchdown. They're all inside the 9 or 8. A-Chain comes in. I'm like, oh, no. There's 6-7 minutes left in the game. He runs for 7 yards and gets tackled. He's at touchdown. Nope. Yeah. Look at it closer. He's down on the 0.2 inch line. His body was in everything but the ball. Gets the ball again, second down. Stopped on the yard line. He loses half a yard. I'm like, oh my God. Still 2 downs left, mind you. And sure enough, Snoop Huntley runs the ball in, touchdown. We're in the clear, right? Oh my God. We're okay. Yeah. 2-point conversion. A-Chain's still in the game. Oh no. Oh no! And they just gave him the ball 2 of the last 3 downs. I'm like, this is. They drop back pass. Oh my God, we're good. Tennessee might be good. Tennessee has the ball. 4 minutes left. Run the ball out. Game over. I make it through. Of course, they're not gonna go. They go 3 and out. They kick the ball back. A-Chain hopefully off the field. 2.5 minutes left. A-Chain ball in the field. Ball gets snapped. Safety. Game's over. It's a safety. This is incredible.
You'd think.
Amazing stuff. Then all of a sudden Miami gets up and kicks. They say they're going to kick an onside kick. Is that a thing? A safety punt onside kick.
That was a new one. I don't know. I was trying to pay as little attention as possible to that game, so I saw it. I changed the other game, and I came back, and then all of a sudden I saw that the ball just landed on the replay, was just bouncing around, and I'm like, what is going on?
Onside punt, skies it in the air, goes up in the air, drops on the ground. Tennessee's going, get away, and the announcer's like, it's not a punt, it's a live ball. You have to just a kickoff. I'm like, oh no, Miami gets the ball. I'm losing my mind. I'm like, the Tennessee team is losing their mind. It's fucking chaos. I'm so upset. Miami has the ball with 2 minutes left, and they're just ready to march. 2-3 minutes go on, go to the commercial. They figure it all out. Nope, the ball didn't go far enough in the air or on the ground, whatever the fuck.
There's some other buffer zone.
Tennessee ball. Yeah. So now Tennessee has the ball with 2.5 minutes left, and all they need is 1 first down. Game's over. They barely even need a first down. But in this new rule, they get the ball in the 10. So now there's no chance for a first down. And so they're on the 10-yard line, and it's first and goal. They score, whatever happens, the minimum 30 seconds left, Miami gets the ball back. They score a touchdown, 30 seconds left. I'm texting with Blaise, like, how much time can it be? Oh, 30 seconds. Surely they kneel the ball. And even Blaise is like, well, they don't have A-Chain out there. He's always injured. Mostert's injured. They're not going to put the starting running back out on the field.
Yeah.
He's out on the field.
He's so dumb.
Not only that, he's wide open on the left. And all he needs is one reception of 0.2 yards. Not even, just needs one reception. I'm done.
Yeah.
Huntley's looking around, looks left. He's wide open. I'm like, no.
Don't throw it.
Throws to their tight end.
Yeah.
Game's over. There's like 10 seconds left. Game's over. Nope. Snap again. AJ's wide open. Left. No. They throw to the tight end again.
Snap the ball a second time is so mind-boggling. The game is over. You have no chance. Just let the clock run out. Go and shake hands. Your religious guys take your knee, pray, like do all that stuff. There's no reason to run a second play there at all.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating right now, just reliving it. So.
It was painful. And the last note about that too is that for those that haven't heard about this Guillotine League, so the team that gets the boot, all their players go back in the pot. And then everyone gets a bid on them. It's like an auction. And this is going to be the least amount of money ever spent on a week in a Guillotine League, because Nona's team is so horseshit. How did he even make it this far? He's literally got nobody worth picking up.
No.
He's like Taylor, but now that he's hurt, there's nobody on his team that anybody wants that's still left, other than maybe a depth piece. But it's going to be like, there's going to never, ever be less money spent in that league than this week.
That's not good.
And somehow you skated by. And I don't know why I'm tripping you, because I beat you by like 0.41 points or whatever the fuck it was. I had no business being around either, especially with that loser kicker who I'm dropping, by the way, today, or Wednesday when I get the chance.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll do. Who knows that for a kicker? He's got to be better than that.
Yeah, Sanders. Oh, my God. So that's the Guillotine League. I'm out of breath. I'm sweating thinking about it.
That was rough. That was a rough moment in time for sure. I can't believe I had to even watch. I like literally, if it wasn't for that Guillotine League, I wouldn't have watched more than 8 minutes of that game once the other game started.
Yeah, and I don't know if I love it or I hate it, because it was just pure anxiety the whole time.
It's so good. I thought it was awesome.
So back to power rankings. Whew, Blaise. Yeah. We're gonna debate a lot. 1, 2, 3 is pretty chalk, but you can argue about 2 or 3. I've got Mahomes, and let's restart. This is the power rankings 2024 for how it will end at the end of the season. So not playing the best now, not who you want to start.
Okay.
Yeah, not who you want to start a franchise with.
Okay.
Just 2024, who will end up being, at the top. So Mahomes, he's obviously not playing the best, but I said in my notes that until he loses 5 or 6 games, I mean, you can't unseat him. He's just going to...
He's a top guy.
Yeah. And then what was interesting...
Doing what he needs to.
Yeah. Interesting about that is how people are like, oh, he's not playing well. And I've been saying they're just saving it for the playoffs. They're coasting, self-preservation. It was 3rd and long to seal that game. And the 3rd and long play wasn't even a question. Like, he was running wide open. Mahomes had tons of time. So it was kind of that point. It was like when they really need to do something that you're not going to stop them. And like that play was, the guy was literally 10 yards, was coasting wide open. So saving it up for that. 2 and 3 is where you get in trouble, because I know you love Josh Allen. I do. He's playing the best out of any quarterback in the league, but he's got blown up by Lamar. So Lamar has a better team, better defense, but they still got blown out. So I put Lamar 2. I think Josh Allen's been playing the best. But Lamar, I mean, lost by a toenail on Monday night or on Thursday night, whatever the first.
Lamar's playing fine. You're splitting hairs between those two. It's personal preference. Mm-hmm. Neither one of them has gone to the dance yet. It's unfortunate because they both got a large roadblock in the way. But I think one of them is going to get it done this year. It'll be one of those two is going to get to the Super Bowl from the AFC. They're going to figure out a way. Like, I agree. Mahomes is a no-brainer, but like the Chiefs they're skating by some of these games, man. Yeah. Like they're 4-0. They could easily be 2-2. Easily. Mm-hmm. There's probably a world where they could be 1-3. Like if one play goes the other way in each one of these games. But their defense is really good, and Andy Reid is probably the best coach in football right now, and Mahomes is the best quarterback. So that was there's they're very tough to beat, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be Lamar or Josh are going to figure out a way to get it done this year in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that about Andy. It's just like I've never seen Reed make a mistake. I see coaches over and over and over making dumb decisions, making mistakes. I don't care about Andy Reid. He's a nice coach, but like I've not seen him make unforced error, if you will, where nonstop all I see is coaches make forced errors.
Yeah, and he used to be like before Mahomes, even going back to his Philly days, he was always known he'd have clock management mistakes and have kind of little hiccups here and there, and he's just it's easy to say, okay, well, you can be a great coach because he has Mahomes now, but it's not just that. Like he learned from all those mistakes that he made when he was younger, and you're right, he's just so solid. He like they're just right on top of things all the time. He knows when to use his timeouts. He knows when to milk the clock. He gets the flow of the game, right? Like he used to just try and score as many points as he could, and obviously everyone's trying to do that, but like he was okay. How do I get to 40? And now he's realizing with this team and this defense that sometimes he only needs 16, right? Like look how he won in the playoffs last year. He's just getting just enough to win, and so he has that read throughout the game. Pardon the pun, he has that read.
Ooh,
there.
So
he senses how the game's going, and he's not one of these. We went off on it a bit last week. These the coaches that are relying on all the metrics and going for it all the time and not taking the points. Like he's got a great kicker, so he throws him out there every chance he gets, and he just coaches smart. And it's fun to watch. It's a pain in the ass because I don't really like them to win, but you have to respect what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. We get into tier 2 of the NFL quarterbacks.
Change my seat for this one because I don't like this chair.
All right.
Plus, you blew some things up here. This is that one's way better.
Tier 2 NFL quarterbacks. I titled "Let's Argue," and before we even argue about anything, I had another question for you, Blaise. It was like, is now offensive coaching like it's never been in the NFL, where before the best quarterbacks were just the best players, if you will? I guess you can argue, but like now, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Tua, are they just 75% products of their coach? And if you put them on any other weaker team, they're nothing. And maybe not nothing, but not very good. Where do you put Trevor Lawrence? Basically, do you put anyone on the Jaguars? Are they doing what they're doing? Yeah. And do you put Trevor Lawrence, or do you pick someone who's half decent with a pulse on a good team and they perform? Like, it's so hard to rank the Brock. I've got Brock Purdy 4 because he's playing lights out. But
I'm taking him off that list that you just had there. He's not a product of like that kid can play, man. If you watch him just even move around and his instincts are there. He's been, all year he's kind of been missing. Everyone's talking about all the weapons that they have, but even though they still have a lot, he's making those guys. He's making people look good, and he has Ayuk, but he doesn't because he's not doing anything. So he's taking guys like Jennings and Kittle, who's beaten up, and like the guy just makes plays. I think he's really good. I think I know you have Tua in that category of product of what's around him, but I would not put Brock there. I think Brock is he's easily a top 5 quarterback for me right now.
But do you think if he started out with the Jaguars, would he be top 10, top 15? Like, could he do this without that confidence? Like he's getting confidence from Shanahan, he's learning from him. I just wonder, would he be where he is if you trade him and Lawrence places from the start of their careers?
From the start, I don't know. That's hard to say. Yeah, that's hard to say. But now, you put it now, and the kid obviously had the confidence, right? Like he didn't just show up in the NFL and then, okay, I'm doing well now, I'm confident. He obviously had the confidence to get there.
Yeah. Even
to just go into camp as the last pick in the draft and basically earn yourself a spot, even as the backup. He's got confidence. So yeah. I feel like just someone like that is just going to find his way. Right?
Yeah.
Like he's really good. He throws a nice ball. He's accurate. His arm's stronger than people give him credit for. The kid can play.
Speaking of confidence, a quick segue. Will Levis has confidence. Every time I watch him, it's like he thinks he's Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, but then he's like not.
Yeah,
It's so
for
weird.
sure. For sure. He's like, if you go down to like the Y or an outdoor basketball court, that guy is chucking up bombs from everywhere. He is just draining, trying to drain. He's going to hit like 10% of his threes, but he's taking 40 of them. Like he's a guy who in the pickup game, he's coming down and just basically telling the boy, "Hey, everyone out! I'm me and this guy right here." And then just gets swiped away, and then the other team goes down and scores. Like, but he's got the confidence to do it. That he's going to always take that shot for some reason. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
But my goodness,
he's wearing Jordans. He's got like the eye black, or he's got everything. The headbands.
Yeah. That's just like, and it's every sport too, right? Like it's every sport. He's going to go out and play, pick up whatever, and he's going to be the guy. And if it was anything like his NFL career so far, it turns out he's not going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Like, did he get hurt last night, or did they just finally have enough?
Yeah, he got hurt because I got the beauty of watching that entire game, as we talked about. And I guess he hurt his shoulder, and then Mason Rudolph came in and looked like functionable. So,
Mason Rudolph's always he's just fine, right? Like, he's not not going to take you to the Super Bowl, but he can get you. There's a few teams that could use him right now. He's just going to at least get you in and out of the huddle and run a play.
Yeah, exactly, and not do something stupid like the worst plays that Will Levis have done.
It's amazing. Like, Will Levis is starting to make Aaron Brooks look like a savant.
He really is.
Decisions that he makes. And we used to just love watching the highlights of Aaron Brooks because we'd be like, oh, what is he going to do this time around?
Yeah.
He's throwing the ball to linemen that are behind him. And like, those plays were so awesome. And Will Levis, it's like, he's like, okay, watch this. You guys love those Aaron Brooks highlights. Like,
hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer is right.
Into the quarterback tiers. I know you hate this one, and I struggle with it too. But I just can't quit him. But we'll go 5th, 6th, 7th in this tier. I've got Jalen Hurts, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love. Jalen Hurts, 5th. Can't quit him. He looks awful. He has as many interceptions as touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I'm just making excuses for him. I'm like a jilted lover. But
it almost got you booted out of Guillotine. I told you not to play him. Man, the Bucs own the Eagles too. That's the other one. And if you go back and look, I said that to you in text. They own the Eagles. And the guys. If you want to talk about somebody who was put into the right situation, people are starting to figure out this Sirianni offense a little now. But like for the last 3 years, they've had the best O-line in the league. They had A.J. Brown, they had Devontae Smith, they had decent play calling. As far as actual plays go, when it comes to game management, we've gone over that with our coach. But like, he was put into a good situation, and he plays his ass off, and he runs around and makes plays. But he's not. If he actually has to read a defense, he's no good. Like, if the play's wide open, he can deliver the ball fine, right? Like, there's guys on every roster who can do that. But like, you have him at 4. I wouldn't even have him in the top 10. Not even close.
I was going to ask you.
Not watching him this year. No chance. 0. Just look at that. Like, the head you have. There's a few guys that you only have like there that I'd put above him.
Yeah.
He's not the best quarterback in his own division. He's like 3rd.
Yeah, I guess I'll see when he gets his Titans back, or when he gets his receivers back, and Lane Johnson. I think he might be all right. Also, I had a thought, even before Bill Simmons brought this up on the podcast that they do, I put this in my article. What if Sirianni gets fired and Bill Belichick goes full Hollywood Hogan and he just comes in? Oh, my God.
Boy, I'm going to be tough to be around if that happens. That would piss me off so much. Like, there's not a team that I dislike more, I don't think, than the Eagles. And it's not even like they're – it goes back to – when they went to like the federal penitentiary and picked up a dog killer from prison and gave him, $30 million, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was it for me. I can't stand that team. And it's never changed. In fact, it's gotten worse. Losing to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl obviously did not help either. If Bill was to go there, God, that'd be misery. Absolute misery.
Yeah, you got to think. I mean, he's going there with the Jaguars.
No. He's not going to the Jaguars.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go to a shit team, to be fair.
You know where he's going? He's going to
Where?
the Giants.
Ooh.
He's going back to the Giants. He's always been a fan of the Giants. He was with the Giants for 2 Super Bowls. He was their DC for 2 Super Bowls. And he's an East Coast guy. It's where his grandkids and grandkids are. So, he's not I don't see him up and moving out, right? He's got his Nantucket place and his boat, that he's always pictured with his boat everywhere out in the water. And I think his daughter is coaching lacrosse at maybe Rutgers or one of those kind of Northeast schools. So
that makes sense.
That said, he has shown up at University of Washington for a bunch of their stuff because the other son is coaching there. But I don't see him moving out west or anywhere else. So that's my prediction. I think he ends up, when he does come back, coaching the Giants.
I hope it's Philly, but that'll be good. I just want Philly to be exciting.
This wouldn't be excitement. That would be torment. Like, I was okay when Brady left to another team, and I still followed them, and I was, as long as they weren't playing the Patriots, I was pulling for the Bucks and enjoyed watching him play still. But I couldn't do it. If he goes to the Eagles, he's dead to me. Absolutely dead to me. I've always banged the drum that it was more Tom than Bill, and if he goes to the Eagles, I'm going to triple down on that and basically talk about everything that he's done to make this team so bad like it is now, because a lot of those are the guys that he drafted or didn't draft. So I'm going to pile on all those takes if he's in Philly, and you'll get so sick of hearing me talk about how horseshit he
was. Speaking of Brady, I sent this to you real time. It was just like, you don't think, I guess you do think of Brady as Jordan just being cutthroat, but not like Jordan is super cutthroat. Kobe Bryant, super cutthroat. Brady still seemed fun-loving and happy and nice. But oh my God. So I sent you I was watching the game real time, and Baker Mayfield said, people were having much fun when Brady was around. Everyone was stressed, blah, blah, blah. And the announcer brought up to Brady in the booth, and Brady, it was awkward as hell he goes, "Oh, well, sorry, I was having fun. I thought being stressed was not winning Super Bowls." We didn't say it like we would say it to each other, like, "Oh, I thought I was having fun. I was winning Super Bowls." He was like, he said it so dry. He's like, if I wanted to have fun, I'd go to Disneyland with my kids. I was there to win games. And just like dead quiet, not like a LOL. Ha ha.
No LOL. No LOL.
No, he's just fucking dead serious. Like, don't fucking ever talk to me about anything about winning.
Yes, you're Baker Mayfield. You don't ever fucking talk about me ever again.
Yeah, and it was like sent like a warning shot out to everyone, almost like when he said to that comedian on the roast, he's like, "Don't talk about craft or I'll kill you." Same kind of thing. It was very weird and like odd, and even the announcer was like odd, and then the ringside, what do you call him, the field side guy, he was like, "Oh, it's hot down here, but it's ice cold up in that studio." Oh my God. And it was like, they tried to make it as awkward as possible. I'm like, all right, can we move on?
They sure did.
And
you're wrong though. Because he was just like Jordan and Kobe and those guys. Like if you listen to any of his players, like teammates stuff talking about, they say he was the most competitive son of a bitch. Like at anything they did, he was competitive, and he would play until he won. Like if they were playing ping pong and someone beat him, they would just keep playing. Oh, best of 3, best of 7, whatever it was. Like he'll just keep going until he finally wins. Like that's just him. So
basically, my childhood with you. Yeah, same.
Yeah, exactly. I think it sounds very similar.
Yeah, and then good. And then you're like, oh, does he hate him? But then he had nothing but great things to say.
Yeah,
from Baker. Like it was almost like the lights got shut off and then on, and then he was like, "Oh, Baker, he sees it, blah blah blah." Like so it just showed literally he's not an asshole or a hater. He was just don't talk about being
alpha,
winning,
right? Like he's just you see the alpha dog will just run over and just stand over top of the other dog till he puts his nose on the ground. He's like, "Okay, now you've learned. Okay, now we can talk about what a good little dog you are." That's what he did. To Baker.
Exactly. Yeah. Back to the rankings. So CJ Stroud was a tough one. Where do you put him?
Well, certainly above Hurts. Certainly above Hurts, you dopey prick. God damn it. I think I bumped Hurts right out. Hurts, like he's like all those guys you have all the way down to Staffy. And even from obviously what I've seen, and I don't want to be overreaction guy, Jaden Daniels is better than Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah.
And a lot can change, but yeah, I like what you did. I think CJ and Love are close, but CJ's just he's shown us a little more, right?
Yeah.
And more so just on durability.
Yeah.
Until we see, like Love played good in garbage time, but if you watch that game earlier when it was close, a couple times that he had to
Terrible.
move, he's not 100%. So
yeah.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
Baker, Sammy D. I'm always gonna be higher on Stafford than most. I think like if I was ranking, like winning a game last week and then even being close this week with no Cup, with no O line, with no Nakua, like I would have Stafford above Baker and Sammy, but that's just me, like more old school veteran quarterback type, right? Like that's kind of more the generation that I'm used to watching, right? Like the Brady, Breeze, Manning, Ben, Rivers, like that's kind of more that I kind of, when I was loving the game more, watching those guys. So Staffy kind of he resonates a little bit more with me than say Baker or Darnold, but
yeah, and I think I mentioned my notes too. So it was people at home. I've got 7 Jordan Love, 8 Mayfield, 9 Sam Darnold, 10 Stafford. I put Stafford only at 10 because I think this year he's not going to be able to do as much as he could with everything he's missing, right? I said I think I'd have him top 6 or 7 if Cup and Puka were healthy for the whole season. I think he has one of the top 5 teams in the league potentially. So yeah. But I think just by the end of the season,
we gotta have the golfer too, man. Like the golfer needs to be up here.
Yeah, I didn't have Goff in because he hadn't played yet, but I've got him ranked pretty low.
Yeah, you do. So, and Dak too. 0 love for Dak. Hey, Tier 6.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Well, so we've got Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith, which I guess we swap him with Goff after that game.
Yeah,
Burrow, just based on what he could be, but I've got a whole thing to say about Burrow. Herbert, who knows he's been hurt. Rodgers, who knows. Jaden, then Goff. Like, who do you put Goff above?
Oh, I put him above the Baker, Sammy D.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Or maybe right there with him, but I would say like if I had to rank him, I would put him just certainly ahead of Darnold. I mean, Darnold's playing great right now, but I think Goff is very good, and I put Burrow in front of those guys too. He's
I think with Goff,
I'm loving where you have Geno. Like I don't know that he's ahead of Burrow and 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 the golfer, but he's playing great. Like
he sure is.
He's and his throws on the run. He made a couple throws last night on the run, and then the velocity he's getting on the ball, like he was. He's dealing now. He's got some guys to work with, but I think I'd have him a little bit. I shouldn't say higher because you're not going to really bump anyone else, but I like where you have him. I'd have him higher than Hurts. Like Hurts needs to be down. Like this. What's your tier 6 called here? We have seen enough. Like I've seen enough. Like he's a good running back. That's what Hurts is.
Speaking of Geno and Goff. We touched on this a little bit last week, I think, but second chance quarterbacks. It's what a year for second chance quarterbacks. So Goff or second or third, Goff, Geno, Darnold, Mayfield.
Yeah. What about fourth chances or fifths? Because how many chances does the Red Rifle have?
Yeah, there's another one. The Red Rifle.
He's doing fine.
Yeah. But I had Goff, I think, because I watched his games and he almost threw a few picks and pick sixes the first few weeks where I was like, he's not playing very well. But then last night I would have bumped him up at least a few spots after that game.
Did you hear some of the stats from last night? So he had more touchdown catches than he did incompletions.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, didn't he he set a record for straight completions, right?
Yeah. Then and also from that game, and it's got to be the first time ever. I don't know that it's not, but they have 2 guys who had a passing touchdown, a throwing touchdown, and 0 incompletions.
Ooh,
how's that? How's that stat?
That's crazy,
right? because Amon threw a pass,
Yeah.
Cutter. So he got the touchdown pass. He caught one and
Yeah.
didn't have an incompletion. And
Wow.
and the golfer didn't have an incompletion either. I mean, Seattle's defense is garbage. They're missing.
I thought the air was supposed to be all right, but yeah, they got
They're
shelled.
missing like 3 of their best defensive linemen. So that hurts. And then they lost Love, the safety, during the game. I think when they're healthy, I think they're pretty good, but they are missing everybody.
Yeah.
So, stat guy, a couple good stats for you there.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Joe Burrow, I had him previously ranked 5th, down to 12. I started thinking about it. He's the best perception versus reality quarterback in the league. And where I'm making excuses for Hurts, are we doing the same or worse for Burrow? Like his record, because everyone compares him, he was 3rd ranked quarterback on like everyone's power rankings going into the season, saying, some people had him better than Josh Allen, everyone had it better than Lamar, and maybe some people had him even with Mahomes. But his record is 30-25-1. Like Mahomes is 77-22, Lamar Jackson 63-26, Josh Allen 66-31. He's barely a 500 quarterback. And sure, he's on the Bengals, but I mean, great. He's being compared with the greats right now.
Yeah.
Surely they should be able to win, right? And he's not really. What's he done? He's hurt. He's sneakily hurt a lot.
A lot. That Super Bowl run obviously helped him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he came out. I mean, I think the guy's got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
But I'd certainly not. You're not putting him in the top 5 at all. I'd like that. I mean, I think you got him a little low, but you're right. Like, how do you? At some point, you got to look at the overall picture.
Yeah.
It's weird though with him, because you want to look at the overall picture, but then when you watch him play and you watch some of the throws that he makes, the guy's got serious talent.
Yeah.
And he's hurt a lot, but he's tough too. He gets beat up, right? Like, they always have just a dog piss line in front of him. And but yeah, I think you might be writing him off a little early, but like I said, when I didn't realize that his record was only 5 games above 500, that's not great. So.
No. Yeah, I think, like I said, the talent's there. I think it's the same thing with Hurts, where I'm just kind of like, but the opposite, where I see all this stuff, but in reality, maybe he's just not as great as people think he is. But yeah. Speaking of Baker Mayfield, even Brady was saying it, his movement in the pocket is incredible. And I feel like he's said it in the article on faneverland.com, is that he's like a game manager on steroids, where he's playing within himself.
Yeah.
Throws a nice ball. But then when shit breaks down, he can move as good as anyone and make plays happen. So.
Yeah, no, he looks fantastic. And you want to talk confidence. Like, that guy, he's got like the Will Levis confidence, but he's earned it. There's a reason that he has it, because he's willing to go out there and, and he's not going to run like Lamar, but he'll move around and throw and run. And it doesn't seem to bite him too much, right? Like, he used to make the odd bonehead play, but now it seems, the chances that he takes are still, a little bit risky. Like, he'll kind of put in a spot where on the sideline where his guy maybe can get it, but if he doesn't, it's going out of bounds. And he makes those kind of plays. So he's been fun to watch. We've always kind of been fans of Bakesies.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Darnold, a hard one to place. Right now, he's the best quarterback in the league. I mean, but where do you put him for the whole year? Can you believe in it?
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch as a Vikings fan, at least.
For sure. He's playing great. And I think because he's bounced around a little bit and hasn't had success, like, people forget he was a top 3 draft pick, right? And there was, I can remember even his sophomore year at USC, there was talk that he was going to be the number 1 pick when he came out. So the guy's uber talented, and now he seems he's in a great situation. He's putting it all together. So I think it's going to continue, man. Like, why not? Like, it's not like he's been, getting lucky with some of the stuff he's doing, just throwing out prayers. Like, he's putting the ball in the right spot, and he's got the right read, and he has a tremendous play caller, right? Like, this is probably the 4th week in a row we've talked about their coach. Like, he is, an excellent play caller, and they got dudes at receiver, and they're getting Hawkinson back, right? So why would, I see no reason why he can't keep this up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, are we in an era, a shift even of, look at rookie quarterbacks and second-year quarterbacks who are in this list. CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, Brock Purdy, but he's kind of an outlier. I mean, do you shift and say, let's create a great team and get a quarterback who's pretty good, but was put in a shitty situation. Like instead of Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels obviously playing pretty good, but Bo Nix, whoever else, are you better off spending all this money on the team and then bringing in look, Baker, Geno, Darnold, Jordan Love sat for a while. It's just interesting if there's some sort of shift in thinking where stop going for a first overall pick.
Your load. I don't necessarily think that, because I think there's still a huge value in the rookie quarterbacks, right? Because you get them for 5 years of control at a really reasonable price. I think the shift is going to be stop paying Tua $50 million, stop paying Trevor Lawrence $55 million, Dak $60 million. Like, why? And it's I've been thinking this for 2 years. I don't understand why they're doing it, and it's always just the next guy up is the guy who gets paid. And I keep waiting for one of the owners to say, okay, no, why would I do that? Why would I do that if I have good players, decent players around them? Go and get, because they're everywhere. They're like you said, they're all over the league. Baker, Sammy D, Goff's on his second team.
Geno.
Brock came out of nowhere. Geno, like these guys are out there, and it seems like they're fourth, fifth, sixth year in the league, and they're figuring it out. And so why would there not be more coming down the pipe?
Exactly. I got Justin Herbert 13th on the list. I just don't think. I mean, he's just been hurt. He can't really.
That one hurts because I'm obviously so high on him. Like I love watching him play, but he's a shell of himself right now. He can't move. He can't even sidestep right now. It's bad. They shouldn't have had him out there. They should. It should have been Heineke time.
And I've got him. I think I've got Harbaugh for Coach of the Year too. So I have a good investment. That's one of my bigger bets of the year. So I need them to do well.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. I was kind of like, I don't know, where do you put? I have him 14th, but he's had one good game or 1.5, maybe 2, but.
And he's back to his old tricks right now. He's in his press conference. He's after the coach again. Like he's just such a drama queen. Like I've had enough of this guy. He can't. He's always got to be. Every time he gets on a microphone, he's got to be the smartest guy in the room, and he's just got to talk down to people and about people, and like he can't just ever be a gracious teammate and move on. It seems like I don't know. It just seems to be drama around that guy all the time. And it used to be everyone, it used to be like people, he's misunderstood, and everyone just finds this stuff about him. But now he's proven over and over again that he starts a lot of the shit, and he kind of keeps it going. By running his mouth and always having kind of the smart ass comment. So I'm glad they lost. I lost in the Survivor because of it, but I'm glad they lost. The Jets are going to jet, and I love it. Yeah.
And then he I don't know, 10, 20% of him being him is he could always kind of sneak out and go for a bit of a run. So he always at least kept you honest. It seems like that kind of running and quickness is, as it should be, he's 40 years old. It's kind of gone. So,
or it's there, because it was there 2 weeks ago, right? He moved around well. But Dick said at that age, then the next week it's a Toby Keith song, right? I know it as well as anyone. Some days you're as good as you were. What is it? Ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was, right? Like every once in a while you can go out and be yourself and your body feels great, and you're out, on a hike, and you're doing whatever, and you're crushing it, and then you should go try to do the same thing 2 days later, and you're like, how the fuck did I get up here? Like I barely lift my feet right now. What is going on?
You're out of breath going up the stairs.
Yeah. So now imagine doing that in the NFL. So I kind of get it, but
absolutely. This is a big one. Jaden Daniels. It's tough. The worst take of my year so far, him and Trevor Lawrence. But
I'm actually a little bit disappointed in myself that I didn't fade you on the Jaden Daniels thing. I should have, as soon as you were so down on him, I should have picked him up every single fantasy league for nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Who knows if it keeps going, but it sure looks like it. Like he looks so calm and so accurate. Like the dude, to see some of the stats on the accuracy, he's like, for his first 4 games, he's like better than any 4-game stretch that Breeze, Manning, Brady, all of them had. Like their best ever 4-game stretches, and he's more accurate than there. The only thing that might save you in your take is that the Cliff Kingsbury offenses have always done this, right?
That's where I was kind of going to go.
yeah, like they've always come out and been on fire, and then the coaches kind of figure out what he's doing. But this he's just such a good athlete, and like we've touched on, he he's not Caleb Williams, and he's not 19 or 20 years old. Like the guy's 25, 24, 25. So like he's fully matured up top, and I think that's a huge part in all of this, is that he's not overwhelmed by what he's seeing. So
yeah, and that's why I wondered, like, he is a little bit older, but if you flip him and Caleb, is Caleb doing 90% of what he's doing? Is it the Cliff Kingsbury offense? I don't know, because in college he wasn't accurate. Like, I mean, he couldn't throw over the middle. Everything was just kind of long bombs, or he'd run. He wasn't a great thrower, so that's why I was so down on him.
Yeah, and
then I mean, is Cliff doing this all? Not all, but is he a big part of that? Also, they played his two best games have been against two of the worst teams in the league. I mean, or at least defenses.
Yeah, that helps. But he's not surrounded by like top 10 talent either, right? Like,
yeah,
he's got McLaurin, and that's huge. Is a veteran stud receiver for a young quarterback is huge.
And Ertz. I'm sure Ertz is great too.
Yeah, just
mentally.
Yeah.
So
they're going to be some shootouts, because I think their defense is a little smoke and mirrors, what like they've been showing, and they're playing ahead, so they're getting to just rush the passer a little bit more and go. But they don't have, like, I can't name three of their defenders. Can you?
No.
Like, I just don't think. I think there's a little bit of fool's gold going on there.
Yeah, and then also baked into my evaluation on him was how tiny he is. So I mean, I was always saying there's a 10% chance he gets knocked out for the year, which almost happened in the second game.
Yeah,
but he's sliding a bit better. But I'd be interested to see him against a good defense where he's getting hit, getting roughed up a bit more.
Yeah,
he's wheeling and dealing that one game, but
for sure, if I'm their coach, like, I would literally spend 10 minutes every practice or every film session and show them like Anthony Richardson videos or some of these other quarterbacks that haven't learned to take care of themselves, like to protect themselves. Say, okay, see this, and then show them Lamar videos and watch how, like, yeah, he takes some big hits, but man, that guy is pretty good at slithering out of trouble, sliding when he has to, getting out of bounds, and that's so huge, right? Like, at some point, you're in the open field that much, you need to know how to protect yourself. It's not just about like the blocking or people protecting you. When he's out in the open a lot, he's got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him, right? Like, and if you watch someone like Richardson who can't figure that out, just now those guys get to play football again. So I would hope that they're stressing that, and it seems like somebody is, because the last couple of games that I've seen him, he hasn't taken any hits, like, other than a couple sacks right in the pocket, but he's not taking huge hits in the open field.
Yeah, the first two games he couldn't even slide properly. He was like doing a stumble forward, and now he's doing a nice slide. He's getting out of trouble.
Yeah. Hope to see it. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Your famous Uncle Budsy. It's been a struggle for that guy for 30 years of being a Redskin / football team / commies fan.
Yeah.
And it's been a tough go. So I'm happy for him that he's actually getting to watch some good quarterback play, and hopefully some continued good football.
You just can't name this new dog Jaden or Daniels, because that'll be.
Believe me, that's already come up. That's come up on the group chat a couple times. It's like, hey, I hope you enjoyed the quarterback, but definitely let's not start naming any dogs. Actually, I think it was Vinny who said that. Let's not start naming any dogs yet. I think he learned his lesson on that. For those who don't know the story, this goes way back to Robert Griffin's first year when he set the world on fire, and Bud got a puppy and named him Griff. And 2 years later, it was like, why should dogs name Griff? And he would make up different stories every time. But yeah, great dog. Griff was an awesome dog, but boy, naming him after a quarterback that didn't last very long, that wasn't good.
No, that was kind of like me naming my dog after Wiggins, and I had to be Wiggins' biggest fan. Forever, and like have to make excuses for him. And oh my god,
that didn't turn out great.
I got Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Dak. I mean, I think Kyler Murray and Justin, who knows, they're playing solid. They could move up or down. The big one is Dak, where I'm just done with Dak. I got him 19th best quarterback.
Yeah, you are done with Dak. That's extreme, but he hasn't showed you anything different this year, right? Like, he hasn't If we're doing this based on right now, or based on how we're thinking they're going to finish, like what else has he shown you this year?
Yeah, and then my also reasoning was at least we know his ceiling. Where Justin Fields, we don't know his ceiling. A healthy Kyler Murray, don't know his ceiling. Jared Goff's playing better. Daniels playing better. Rodgers maybe could put him worse. Herbert, don't know his ceiling. Everyone below him, you don't know what they could do, or they're doing it very well. Where Dak has just been shit.
Yeah, no, he's been terrible.
Yeah,
he's been terrible. I laughed at the next couple that you threw out there though. Like, of course you have Kirk down there.
Yeah,
he should be a little like he doesn't deserve to be a whole lot higher. But come on, Derek Carr. That's come on. So nobody in their right mind is if you had to pick a team tomorrow, would be like Kirk Cousins. I'll take Derek Carr. No, everyone's taking Kirk Cousins over Derek Carr.
I know it's just numbers, but Cousins is 21st in passer rating and 24th in QBR. He's supposed to be a numbers guy. Like his numbers should be good. It's not like he's out running and that's what's making his QBR down. At least Carr is 8th in passer rating. He's lit the world on fire twice. Kirk has just been standard.
He lit his hair on fire the other two, though. Like he's garbage. Come on. Come on. Like at least if you can't say anything else about Kirk, like they've been in every game this year, right? Like they very easily could have beat the Chiefs. I don't know. He's not what he was for sure. You can see it coming off the injury, but yeah, that's just a spite call putting him behind Carr. That's and even behind Fields too. Come on,
Fields. I like Fields' ceiling. Fields is gonna light the world on fire. So.
Yeah, you do. No, you like not being ever admitting that you're wrong, and you just won't let it go.
Kirk isn't. I am not wrong. Kirk's a terrible quarterback. He's average, below 500 against winning teams.
He is now, but he's better than some of those guys you put in front of him.
I don't believe it. So then I've got 22, 23, 24. We go Andy Dalton, which we don't spend too much time. It's who knows. Trevor Lawrence, 23. Gardner Minshew, 24. Daniel Jones, 25. Then Caleb, then Tua, then Anthony Richardson, Bo Nix.
I mean, we're factoring in the injury though, right? Like I know
Anthony Richardson.
The only thing that compares to your Kirk hate is your Tua hate.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is just the injury. Like you don't actually think he's the 27th best quarterback in the league, do you?
No, without injury, I'd keep him at around 22nd.
Okay, thank
22nd.
This is too much. I appreciate it, and I hope Hampy watches this. So that little hillbilly down in Texas somewhere, just trying to figure out if his internet works. I hope he pulls up this and watches and sees where you put him.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll make sure to send him the link just
Perfect.
So that he has to see number 27 next to his quarterback. But like that's pushing it a little bit.
I sent him the link to the article, and he just said that this is spam. I'm not opening it. He didn't even bother trying to read it.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, the injury, I think he ends up not doing very well. But yeah, if not, I would rank him in the 20th range at somewhere.
Hopefully above Derek Carr.
I would put him above Derek Carr.
Yeah.
But Anthony Richardson, I mean, Bo Nix, Brissett, Will Levis, Deshaun Watson. I'll go off on Deshaun Watson, not like we need to go off or anyone needs more on him, but he had his shitty little quote the other day. It was, "I'm not a running back. It's not my specialty. They signed me to throw the ball, make decisions, and be a quarterback, not a runner." Knock, 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 Mr. Wilson. When you were a good fucking quarterback, you were the top 3 running quarterback in the league.
He's an idiot.
In 2018, he was 3rd in QB rushing yards behind Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. 2 pretty good ones. He was tied for 2nd in quarterback rushing touchdowns. Yeah. 2019, 2nd in QB rushing touchdowns. 2020, top of the league in QB rushing yards, like top 3, 4. When you were good, you were a running quarterback, you fucking idiot. What do we do? What are you talking about?
He's so confused. Like that guy is completely mind bent right now. He's getting sued again. He's getting stuff from all angles. Guy can't get a massage, right? No one will see him.
Yeah.
Or if he does, he has to go to like some 280-pound ripped dude that's not worried about getting molested. So he doesn't enjoy that. No. He's a mess. You're right. Like that's what made you good. Like you're not a drop back. You're not Peyton Manning. You can't sit in the pocket and throw. You're seeing this right now. You have to move. But don't know if he can. I think he's so beat up too. I don't know. Maybe he just can't run anymore, and that's he's just trying to sound smart. But god damn, that's dumb. Like that's literally like I can't even think of a comparison. You're right. Like knock knock, hello, anybody home? Have you ever watched film of yourself? That's what his player or his position coaches would come in after that quote and be like, okay, let's look at these videos from 2018 of that. Look at this. Look at what you're doing here when your team's winning games. Yeah, you're not standing and throwing because you're no good at that.
Exactly. So yeah, that was wild. And then Jared had a take too that he's just, and Jared's normally a black quarterback apologist all the time. He was saying that like he just doesn't care. Like some people are in it for money and that's it. Which I mean, I guess that's another thing is, does he not care about football? Is he just, I've got my money, I'm going to go out there, don't want to get hit, which this quote speaks perfectly to. I mean, I don't want to get hit.
For sure. I think Jared nailed that I think he nailed that perfectly. It shows like the guy, he's got something. What was the stats? He was like 16 for 22 to start the game off, but it was for like 80 yards or something ridiculous. Like, I mean,
getting rid of the ball.
Yeah. Get this thing out of here. Dump off screens, bubble screens. Like it's ugly. I can't even imagine having to watch that team.
Yeah, it's not good.
Hopefully they're not on primetime much because god damn it. But one little thing on your bottom five here though, like I think we need to take out your little slash and include Joe Flacco at 28. Come on, when Flacco plays, he's been playing great.
I agree. I needed a couple more weeks. We'll put him up there. I agree. He's been incredible.
Yeah. Like he went on an unbelievable run last year with this same Browns team that bonehead can't figure out, to even move the ball with. He got him into the playoffs. I don't know, the guy can play. Like he's one of those guys where it's just, he's always had so much talent and now he's just so smart, right? Like he's just seen everything. He's not going to get fooled. You're not going to outsmart him as a defensive coordinator. And, it changes everything, I think, with that team. It won't surprise me if he ends up taking the job. Like if they're serious about winning, they need to consider him keeping the job because they have some decent receivers. So it makes them relevant, right? Like, and they can always run the ball a little bit. They got a good line. Their defense is played okay.
Yeah,
like you have to at least consider it.
Yeah, it's just like seeing Andy Dalton. All of a sudden, receivers are actually being receivers. Like they're getting the ball, spreading the ball around.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you watched much Caleb Williams? He doesn't look awful. He looks like a rookie, so I can't really count him out too much. I mean, it's not like can't expect him to light the world on fire. And they're 2-2.
Yeah, like I don't know. I didn't see a lot of their game this week, but it seems like he's not making bonehead mistakes, right? That's the one thing that it seems like he's not doing, right? He's not, 2-3 picks a game. So because they have a solid defense, right? Like they knew that coming in. They have a solid defense, and they're struggling on the O-line, but they got a lot of pieces on that team. So it's sometimes more is less as a rookie. Right. Start by not turning it over. I always think back to when Big Ben came in, right, and he played on that Steelers team that went on a huge run in his rookie year, and he just it was nothing like the Big Ben that he became. He throwing for 400 yards a game. He was 130, 150 yards. He'd run for 2 first downs, a game or 3 first downs a game on scrambles, and just wouldn't throw the ball to the other team. And they found ways to win. I think that's where they should start with Caleb Williams, and then see what he grows into, because the guy's got some serious arm talent. It's like he can do things that a lot of people just can't. And so it's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder, because there's so many of these super athletic quarterbacks that could just do whatever they wanted in high school and college.
Yeah.
So now they think you can do that in the NFL. So I think if you're open-minded enough, you can stop doing these stupid things and learn versus, oh no, I could do this, I'm always going to do it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like to your point, maybe he's figuring it out a little bit, not to do the stupid shit. Like in week 1, he was trying to run for 20 yards backwards where he could do that against kids in college. Now it's like, no, you're not doing that here.
No, we're not having that.
Which it doesn't seem like he's really done that since. So he's learning, saying all the right things.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you, I know you have too much time. Do you want to go through picks real quick for week 5?
Yeah,
all right.
Let's do it.
Ooh, this is a good one. I would love to place a bet. Last week, the Bucks were plus 350 or 300 to win the division, which I think they're the best team in the division.
Yeah.
But Bucks, Falcons are 1.5 point favorites.
Jesus. You know what? I think like one thing that's standing out so far is that division's better than we gave it credit for at the start of the year, right? Like, kind of thought that it was going to be pretty stinky, but like the teams are all battling. Even Carolina, now that they've got made the change of quarterback, they're not going to win 6 games, but they're going to push, and they're going to make you play. They're going to make you earn your wins at least. But I always forget. I can never keep track of that division because the rivalries are so tight. But it's like, sometimes the matchups are just there. Like the Saints always seem to beat the Bucks, and I feel like this is the one where the Bucks, I think, always have a pretty good handle with the Falcons.
Yeah.
So I'm going Bucks. I'm just going Baker. They just 1.5 is basically, you're not getting a ton of points, but I could see the Bucks winning outright. Thursday game though, right? So who bounces back? Who the Falcons have had a night game already and a Monday game, so their schedule's kind of been all over the place.
Yeah,
I don't know if that helps or not, but I'm saying Bucks.
Yeah, I think also if you're going to bet the game, you might as well bet the Bucks straight up and just get the juice because it's kind of a coin flip-ish. So
yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah, chances of just losing, by 1 are usually not all that great.
No.
London game this week. I love London game. Get up early. I'm up anyway. Get the crack of dawn. So now it's like, instead of sitting around waiting for a couple hours for football to start, we get a game.
Yeah, it's a half decent game too.
I think so. I think that spread should be higher, but you never know what happens when you got to travel overseas.
I want someone to do an actual analysis on London games and the spreads and how, the teams that are favored, how well do they do? Because you just hear people anecdotally say, oh, we never know what happens, but is this true, or we just think we don't know what happens?
Like, they make a big deal out of it because it's the time change, but it's, these teams are, is there really that much of a time change going New York to London as going London to Seattle, or New York to Seattle? It's just the other direction, right? And they go for such a short amount of time that I don't think the time is really an issue. It's more so the distractions, right? And I think more and more of these teams just treat it as a business trip. You're not going early, you're not going sightseeing. They fly you in, you go to the hotel, you have your practice, you get up, you go, you play, and then gone.
Yeah.
Unless you have a bye week afterwards, but so
maybe
it's not as much, but
I think that speaks to why home field isn't as much of an advantage anymore either. Because like 10, 15, especially 20 years ago, guys are out drinking. Oh, we're in Miami tonight. Let's go to the club, find some women. Now I'm sure some can maybe still do that, but like you said, it's a business now. You're not fucking around. You're going to bed, curfew, blah, 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 blah. Take care of yourself. None of this nonsense. Like at least you could do 20, 30 years ago, even 10 years ago. Like now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I got a different angle on this game. I think I even have stronger feelings, because the one thing that just hit me is all these games that they're playing overseas, they're playing in these soccer stadiums, and the turf is always shit, right? Like, or if the turf is beautiful for soccer, or
for soccer,
like if you wanted to go and to walk on it, I'm sure it's heavenly grass, right? But the football players aren't used to it.
Big guys,
which team is going to adjust? And that goes back to coaching, and I think Salah is a clown, and I think the world of O'Connell. So I'm actually going huge Vikings there. If I was in that Survivor pool still, maybe I'll find a Survivor 2 somewhere. Vikings are my pick.
All right, I'm with you.
Lock of the week. I haven't even seen the other games yet, but that's my lock of the week.
Oh, I'm going to put Bucks as one of my locks of the week, and then Vikings. You know what? I'll do a lock of the week as well. I'm finally picking Vikings games right. So,
you know what? Let's do a Buccaneers Vikings parlay, and then boom, we're winning before the games, like the bulk of the games, even start on Sunday.
Yeah,
right.
That always works out well, right?
Absolutely. We go into the week.
Yeah,
we're up. We're up. This can't fail. I love it.
Cannot fail. I like it.
Yeah, I'll send you the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we will, even if we do win, we'll save that money. We'll bank it. We won't. Let's spend it all on
I really like something in that afternoon slot here. What else is there? And then
Dolphins, Patriots, minus 1 point. No way.
Oh, for sure, we could take care of old Huntley.
Yeah, this is crazy. I guess I couldn't tell you what I thought the spread would be, but the Patriots favored in a game.
Yeah, it's got to just be like the Dolphins' offense is bad.
But at least you can throw a screen to Tyreek Hill for 100 yards at any point.
That worries me. You know what though? Like the times that when the Pats are like the Thursday night game was a misnomer, but like when their defense is playing well, they tackle. Right, that's the one thing that they do is they tackle and they don't blow a lot of coverages. So, if they're just disciplined with that and get on Tyreek before he gets into open field, because you got to know that's all they're going to be trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it. And maybe this is when May comes in. Who knows?
Yeah, and Snoop can't really throw in, like, at least say what I will about Tua. He can throw a nice, accurate ball where Snoop can't tuck a ball into Tyreek or anything like that. So if they're getting him the ball, it's got to be wide open. And like you said, then they just kind of swarm to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did say, though, I took the Patriots last week, and I said in my article that I will never pick them again if they get blown out and don't come near covering. And this is what happened. I keep on making excuses.
They were near. Like, they hung in there all game and then just fucking ran out of gas. But
yeah.
The one worrisome thing about that game is we cannot seem to figure out how to keep quarterbacks in the pocket. Like Purdy ran all over the place. Geno was all over the place. Aaron Rodgers at 40 years old was running like he was 25. So I'm just going to believe that at some point the coaches are going to see this. Like, I can see it from my couch. I'm hoping they can see this and put a lock on the little running that Snoop does.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me excited for this game now. So there we go. We're pulling up a dub this weekend.
I'm just thankful that it's not on Monday night and I don't have someone in the Guillotine League in this game.
No doubt. Yeah, zero fantasy implications in that one once I drop that fucking kicker.
Yeah. Another lock of the week. I keep on making locks of the week against the Bears, and then they prove me wrong. But they're 4-point favorites against the Panthers.
Wow.
What did the Panthers lose by yesterday? Or last
7?
Yeah.
Or was it 27-24? I think they might have got a late tutter.
Yeah. Lost by 10. Ooh, they did lose by 10.
Okay.
But then they
was it late? I think it might have been a late score.
Yeah.
So I think they got handled pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tricky line though, right?
Yeah.
Like, Bears should win, but that's a tricky one. You can count on Dalton somehow come up with 2 touchdowns. So the Bears gonna score 3, or are they gonna get to 17? That's the question on the point spread. But that's a tough game.
Yeah,
they're playing on grass, so in honor of our boy Backer who couldn't make it this week, I'm just gonna say the Bears, because they're playing on their grass field.
Yeah, Bears on grass, their own field, never can lose.
Yeah, if they're on turf, different story.
Different story. I'm going to go Panthers I just believe in Dalton a little bit. I just still don't believe in Caleb Williams fully. And I have a Bears future that I really need them to do bad. So I gotta stick to it.
Yeah.
Ooh. This is an interesting week. Colts, Jaguars. Jaguars 3-point favorites.
Big Jags.
Really?
Don't they have you know what? I said this last week. I said they have to win. They can't go 0-4. Well, no, they can't go 1-5. There's been one team that's made the playoffs at 0-4.
Yeah.
And my pool, it's only 2.5. So,
but yeah, that guy launches his shit like on Monday, right? This is like up to date, moving. Yeah. The lines move.
Lines are moving. You know what though? Again, with the division thing, don't the Jaguars usually handle the Colts?
I don't know. Maybe. But the Colts, if this was against Richardson, I'm on the Jaguars. But with Flacco, like you said.
That's true. That's a good call.
That's so tough.
I know. That's tough.
Trevor Lawrence is not looking great.
No.
Could he be a second chance quarterback?
Ooh, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
In Philly.
Yeah. Philly, maybe the Giants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the Giants got to draft one, no?
Yeah, well, and I mean, he's just signed that big contract, so no one's, I'm sure, taking it, or they're not trading him because the owner needs to be right. And
Yeah.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
love this week Sirianni fired and Doug Peterson fired, because then that'll help my Hurt stock and my Trevor Lawrence stock significantly.
True. I hope that the Eagles keep Sirianni for the whole year because I think he's a clown, and I want to see them go like 4-13. So I
And
hope they
then,
don't. I hope they don't fire him
and then people were saying that you can't fire Peterson this quickly, but
quickly.
yeah, well, and going back to last year, I think he's lost 10 straight. So don't, if it was, if we started the season and he went 0-10, fired.
Fired. Fired.
Yeah.
You have to call if you're the owner already. You should have reached out to Mike Vrabel's agent.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you know him, coached in the division. Guy is an excellent football coach. I have no idea why he doesn't have a job right now.
Yeah.
Like you have to have at least started asking around because Peterson ain't it. Like
No.
and it can't be too soon. This is his third year, isn't it? Fourth year? Third for sure.
He's third, yeah.
Yeah, third for sure, and he hasn't won a game since Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got potentially, I mean, he hasn't played like it, but a franchise quarterback, and it's the season, you're on your last leg. So it's either you do it now or what's the point? Might as well just wait till the end of the year.
Well, he's their franchise quarterback. Like whether whether he's played like it, they just signed him to an enormous deal and they can't get out of it for a couple of years. So he's their franchise quarterback right now. So if it's not working with this guy, you might as well cut ties and see if it can work with somebody else.
Exactly. An amazing game. Yeah, a bunch of good games this week. Bills, Texans. Bills 1-point favorites.
Wow. Bounce back.
Yeah.
Bounce back for Josh.
I like the Bills. That's going to be a great game.
That is going to be a good game. Diggsy.
Oh, revenge game.
Revenge game. Diggs revenge game. And they don't like him, and they've talked shit about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Houston, I'm going home team.
At least you got a prop bet. You got to take Diggs over everything. Surely they're going to feed him.
Yeah, for sure. Diggs touchdown. Like 100% they're getting him into the end zone, or they're going to try.
Yeah. And then another good game. We got Ravens-Bengals. Ravens 2.5-point favorites over the Bengals.
That is nice. That is nice. And
I may make this a lock and go Ravens because just don't believe. I mean, the Bengals are 1-3. The defense is terrible. Yeah. They only beat the Panthers. Like, let's not say anything big about that, you know?
Yeah. And Lamar's hot. Or like the Ravens are hot. It's like if Derrick Henry runs like that, how do you stop that team?
You can't.
That's wild. Like it's teams that have to play them right now that they're figuring out how to use him. Like they have 2 unicorns. For you think of the last 20 years we watch football, there's never been a running back like him, that big, that fast, and can make you miss, can run you over. And there's never been, a quarterback that, moves like Lamar. Like they have 2 unicorns on the team. It's wild. So, wow.
That's just
1-4 Bengals. That'd be quite
right.
Simple,
That's the suck trying to tackle Derrick Henry. I mean, this isn't mine earth shattering, but that can't be, especially like a whole full head of steam.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, if you can get him in the backfield, this is the only shot. Once he gets out the open, my God, there's a lot of business decisions getting made at that point.
Exactly. Browns, Commanders. Yes, an interesting game. The Commanders are 3-point favorites.
Yeah, not interesting.
Yeah.
It's that game you watch just to watch Daniels play.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch the Browns. They're garbage.
Sure.
Commanders are going to handle them.
All right. I think I guess I got to go Commanders. Do I zag though? I'll think about it.
You're zagging to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. It's true.
Like I'm okay with the odd zag, but I'm not hopping on that train.
I'll be interested to see the Browns defense, even though they haven't played incredibly, but against they should be good. And can they screw around with Daniels some? That'll be a prove it week. I mean, Daniels has already proved it enough, but now he's playing a legit D. Kind of a shitty game, but at least it's close. Is Broncos Raiders? Broncos 3-point favorites.
I honestly don't know what these teams are. Do we have any idea? Like, like every time you think that the Raiders are gonna just get rolled, they win, and you actually think they might win a game, and they get crushed by in Carolina. Like, I have no idea what these teams are,
Yeah.
and it's division games, so who knows? Flip a coin, man. That's tough.
So
That's
maybe
tough.
take the points when you're flipping the coin.
Yeah. I guess
The Broncos D has looked actually really good.
they have. And Adams, like, what's his deal? Is he ever coming back to play, or is he done?
I don't know. He might be done. I want him to demand a trade somewhere good. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, he's just magically his hamstring is like suddenly tight, right?
Yeah,
guys. I got the hammy, and oh really? When did you do that? I just kind of woke up this way. I think that's what's going on there. Sad to say.
I have the Devontae Adams thing. Remember that way back when I had the idea that someone I think got arrested for this, but college teams should just have Nike sponsor their players or whatever it is, and like money backhanded that wasn't through the college. But all the same thing with NFL teams, like or NBA teams. Let's say it's with LeBron and I guess Tom Brady with the Giants. Like, hey, Tom, we can only give you so much money, or whoever it is, Mahomes. But you can sign this Nike contract for $200 million, who's a big sponsor of the Giants, and you get to move to New York, and maybe this other designer brand wants to sign you only because he's in New York. So anyways, long-winded. Devontae Adams was never like a face of the league, but the second he went to the Raiders, he was all of a sudden the face of Taco Bell and like some other things. He's like in every commercial.
Yeah.
And I just wondered, was there some sort of behind the scenes deal of you're going to be in a bunch of, the Taco Bell spokesperson if you come to Vegas? Because he's never been like a guy, what receivers are. Yeah, it's surely not him.
Yeah. That's a valid point. I wonder if the Vegas thing just has something to do with it, right? Like new team, new franchise, moving to Vegas. They want to really sell it. The league wants to sell it. Let's get a couple corporate sponsors and really they push one of their players, right?
Yeah, and I guess he's the only one you can push.
You're not going to put Gardner Minshew on the Taco Bell ads.
Yeah, and Crosby's got too many tattoos for Taco Bell.
Yeah, they're not going to like the league doesn't like that look, even though he's a cyborg.
Yeah,
it's got to be something like that, right? Like because they're like, hey, let's prop this franchise up. Not that the Raiders need it, but they want to make sure that the investment in that city is going well.
Definitely. That's a solid point.
So I have no idea who I'm taking in that game. That's a good one. Home team. Boom.
Okay. Yeah, I might go Broncos. The Broncos, I think, in like fantasy points, I was looking, they're fourth right now. So I mean that at least is indicative that they're playing legit.
Yeah.
And Surtain, I mean, they've got a lockdown corner. How many lockdown corners are in the league right now?
Not too many as like Cam. The guy's good.
Oh, yeah,
that's really good.
So
he'll be bored. He has nobody to lock down if Adams doesn't play. I mean,
this is true.
Sure, he's comfortable handling Jacoby Kenobi Myers.
Yeah. Cardinals, Niners. Niners are 7.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals just got whooped by the Redskins.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the shine has fallen off the apple a little bit there from they have a couple good first weeks, but
yeah, Kyler Murray definitely not. I mean, he played all right, but
yeah. Niners are a different animal. Although the Fred Warner injury, I guess, is worth watching, but that'd be a big loss. I don't know how long he's out for.
And didn't they also lose one of their best defensive players 2 weeks ago?
Their D tackle, yeah, he didn't play this past week, but it didn't show because their D linemen were going against air, so it's really tough to tell whether they adequately replaced him or not.
How much did they end up beating the Patriots by? 10?
17.
17. Okay. I was gonna say if it was 10, maybe I'd take the Cardinals because it's 7.5. They're better potentially. Than
it was within the spread like for most of the game, right? And there was a defensive touchdown in there too. Yeah. Again by Warner, but
the
Niners aren't world beaters yet, but
that's true.
They're still solid.
The Cardinals beat them last year.
Right. Yeah, those division matchups sometimes were just weird.
Stop me if you've heard this before, but the power went out and we lost the rest of the podcast. So you missed the next picks that me and Blaise went through. I created a monkey bridge. I didn't create a monkey bridge. I petitioned or just made enough noise here in Costa Rica that a monkey bridge was installed so monkeys would stop dying because they're getting electrocuted on the transformers. Monkeys die, which is very sad, and then the power goes out, which, if you're a fan of the podcast, almost as sad. Obviously not as sad as monkeys, but I mean, you're missing out entertainment regardless. So I'll quickly breeze through. You don't really need to listen to the rest of this, but Seahawks Giants. I forget who Blaise and I took now. I think we took the Seahawks -6. Packers Rams. Packers 3.5. Rams. The Packers look great. This is a toss-up too. You know what? We'll save this till Jared and I are on the podcast together. We can debate these. Steelers Cowboys. Steelers -2.5. I like the Steelers. Chiefs Saints. Chiefs 5-point favorites. They haven't covered a spread yet, so let's take the Saints. Check out faneverland.com. I'll have this much more structured with my picks of the week. Locks of the week are still on fire the past 3 weeks, even though last week was a little down. Subscribe to the Fraser LeVay podcast, however you're listening to this. faneverland.com. See you later.